and delivering to the state. And KCR lost focus completely. He was even talking about leading the third front, which he was trying to set up. In Karnataka, which you mentioned, the kingmakers have been the Lingayats and the Vokaligas. As far as Karnataka is concerned, when they decided to go with the Congress, it was to punish the BJP in the state election. BJP, Lingayat vote has gone to the BJP traditionally, but because of what they felt, the offensive treatment towards Yediyurappa, a tall Lingayat leader, they wanted to punish the BJP. And as a result of that, they voted Congress. Now that punishment was done with. So after that, it was going back to the drawing board, which they liked earlier, which is Modi. I think it is Modi magic which works for the BJP in Karnataka. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, we all know that it is something that the BJP has always wanted. We'll see what happens there. But the BJP making strides in the south, it hasn't happened, Anand, as a fluke or a chance. From rank and file, they've been working hard, just like they did 10 years ago with the Northeast, to shake away that image of it being a Hindu party, a cowbelt party. Purvodaya was this goal that they had about 10 years ago for their party. Himanta Sarma led that charge, and the team was able to deliver for the BJP. Similarly, in the south, where Karnataka, they had a footprint, they lost it due to the leadership crisis and strong Congress in the state. But in Tamil Nadu, in Telangana, in AP, in Kerala, it was nil bata sannata, and that seems to be changing as per the exit polls.
That the punishment as far as the Lingayat and ignoring B.S. Yediyurappa was also because there was a thrust by the BJP to try and push the OBC quotient, the non-Lingayat OBC quotient in Karnataka. The same aspect of moving beyond just Brahmin faces in BJP in Tamil Nadu has also paid dividends, because Annamalai is a non-Brahmin face. He's a non-Brahmin face, and that's working on ground, and he's put on the hard yards there, and he's also increased the spread. So this entire thrust, you look at what they've done. In Madhya Pradesh, government may have changed or a face may have changed, but who's come? There is a mix. The caste combination has been taken care of beautifully with the OBC leader, Brahmin face, all of them there. They've done the same thing in Rajasthan. It's the same thrust that is also happening in Bengal, where again they've created this entire OBC pride and creating a huge backward class, Adivasis. This is a clear move by the shift by the BJP, which is evident today. And Sopan Das Gupta is correct when he says that today the BJP is an OBC-led party. It's not a Brahmin Baniya party anymore.
Yeah, so when you do these caste combinations, when you do these permutations and combinations, like going with the Jat vote and going with the other Chhattis votes instead of the Jat, when you do these permutations and combinations, you might lose or win a state here or there, but you keep a long-term objective in mind. And with Tamil Nadu, with Kerala, they have that long-term commitment in mind to do that. So, when you do that, you identify charismatic leaders, candidates, you woo the subcaste, you bring in that welfare measures, you make strategic alliances, and of course, you rely on a leader. After Indira Gandhi, I think Modi is the only non-South Indian speaking, language speaking leader who's been accepted in South India. I think it was Indira Gandhi, and after that, it is Modi, accepted and liked and loved in some cases.
No, Nalan wanted to make a point, but can I very quickly ask you, your home state, Karnataka, in the seats that voted in the third phase, which is half of the state, north and central Karnataka, after the Prajwal CD came out, are you saying that it has no impact at all?
On the CDKC, the Vokaliga votes had already been cast by then, largely. The large chunk of it had already happened. Very strategically, this thing came out. I mean, I don't want to believe in conspiracy theories, Zaka, but I tend to wonder why it comes out in the middle of an election, and that also after the Mandya area and have already voted. I don't know what the conspiracy is, but it happened out there, and I don't think, strangely enough, it is true that it doesn't seem to have impacted on the voting patterns. Now, whether that it was because these kind of scams, these kind of horrific sex scams have happened in the past. Even if you remember those videos being watched, porn being watched inside the assembly, that also is a Karnataka phenomenon, right? So it's horrific to be associated that porn and sex scams are something that is happening in Karnataka. Don't want to admit it, but it is not out of the ordinary, unfortunately.
Many say
Just
it
like
was
when
an-
you
it
think
was
of
an open
electoral
secret about
violence and
Prajwal
Bengal
Revanna.
and not electoral violence and Kashmir.
Many say it was an open secret about Prajwal
Yes,
Revanna
correct.
even before it became
Exactly.
a national
But
outrage.
I'm glad it's come to light, and I'm glad it's happening.
Nalin.
On the OBC question that was being discussed, I did want to make the point that today's BJP is by far, in terms of caste in North India, the most socially representative party by caste. Comparable only to the 1950s Congress in terms of representation of the umbrella tent, barring Muslims. Number one. Number two, I think Swapan made this point earlier about social engineering. The BJP, it's not like the BJP did not have OBC leaders in the past when it was seen as a Brahmin Banya party. Kalyan Singh, Uma Bharati, they were all OBC leaders. But they were totem pole leaders in the old Congress sense, where you have a leader and you expect that people from their community would follow you, like with Kalyan Singh with Lodz and so on and so forth. But this
large
BJP...
number of times they were sort of trying to prove that they were actually not from their own caste, but trying to sort of fit in.
The superstructure was still upper caste and so on. With this BJP, the difference is there's been a far more broad basing at the lower levels. When you look at ticket selections, when you look at ministerial portfolios, and the point that Swapan made in terms of the obesization of that and the share for specific... I'll give you an example. UP has about 70 plus categories of OBCs in terms of castes. Similarly, about 65 plus, I think, roughly is a number for scheduled castes. What the BJP did was it went to all of the non-Yadav OBCs and went to all of the non-Dalit, non-Jatav SCs and said, you guys didn't get a share with the Mandal parties or with the BSP, come here. You look at the caste composition of the candidates, it's huge. Now,
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nalin, this experiment was really kicked off by Rajnath Singh.
in the past years.
In the past. So he's the one who sort of...
It started with the 2014 election.
That's right.
A little bit before that, 2014 was the first one. 2019 it goes much further. And I think if imitation is the best form of flattery, you will see that Akhilesh Yadav has followed the same formula
Similar
in this
formula
election.
this time. Yeah. He's
He's
followed.
on the issue of moral turpitude and playing a part, there was a seminal election, actually, 2001, Tamil Nadu. It's a very fascinating election because at that time, J. Jayalalitha was not allowed to contest that election because of corruption charges. The DMK was in power, and guess who lost? The DMK lost, even though on the ground there was talk that actually work had been done. There were a large number of welfare schemes, etc. In fact, every school had a laptop, this, that, but there was no. And I remember reading this piece on CSDS had put out in, I think it was the EPW, where they got into why corruption, unfortunately, whether it's moral or it is, financial, doesn't actually play much of a role in Indian politics. I mean, even Yediyurappa, when he had a large number of charges against him, and as Smita is saying that, there was those sex tapes, etc., about those leaders watching pornography and all of that in the assembly, never really rubbed off. So, unfortunately, somewhere, whether it's Lalu or anybody, corruption has been sort of normalized.
Normalized somewhere.
Yeah.
Sumanth C Raman, quick word about the South before we turn the spotlight towards the state that is going to return the maximum number of MPs and perhaps where the BJP could spring a much bigger surprise than it did in 2014. That's what many are now going for the directions. But yes, Sumanth Raman.
Yeah, corruption has been normalized, absolutely. Throughout southern India, corruption is a non-issue. I don't think the voter really assumes that there is any honest individual in politics or any honest political party. So that's out of the way as far as the southern part of the country is concerned. The second part is about the rise of the BJP in Telangana, and that's a very, very interesting statistic that a political party like the BRS, which got 41% in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, there is an en masse shift of the votes going towards the BJP, and the Congress is not actually picking up a part of it. It seems to be a very, very interesting statistic. I mean, I haven't come across in recent times where a party loses 20-25% vote share and the entire 25% goes to another political party.
The left in Bengal.
The
left in
Yeah, the
Bengal.
left in
They had
Bengal.
30%.
Yeah,
And that shifted
before
to the
2019, it came down to 8%. Almost en masse shift to the
But
BJP.
many are actually saying that the Hyderabad civic body polls, the effort that was put in by the BJP to fight that election, actually set the tone for the BJP to move in.
But can I finish my point?
Yeah.
Can I finish? Yeah.